Hello and welcome to Norwood News. Today is Friday, June 8th, and I'm your host, Krista McDonald. The Norwood High School class of 2018 is officially graduated. Members of the school department, families, and friends of the grads gathered at the NHS football field Sunday morning for the ceremony. The commencement of this class brings bright and motivated students out into the world, to colleges, the workforce, the armed services, the LEAD program, and many other fresh opportunities. Best of luck to these great kids as they move on. Be safe, be bold, and don't forget about the school on the hill. Impact Norwood, as you may know, is a substance abuse prevention coalition made up of community members who have loved ones affected by drug and alcohol abuse or are just concerned citizens. Impact Norwood promotes a drug-free and healthy Norwood via education, awareness, prevention, and action. One of the key groups of the community and where drug use can really take hold is our youth. Through the efforts of Impact Norwood and Norwood Public Health, Daryl Sweeper has been hired to help carry out the mission of Impact Norwood to Norwood's most important asset, our children.
Hello, I'm Daryl Sweeper. I'm the program coordinator at Impact Norwood. Just to give you a little rundown of what Impact Norwood is. It is a substance use prevention coalition that is tasked with educating the community and the youth, raising awareness about substances, promoting positive activities, as well as strengthening relationships between the youth and the community. Specifically as a program coordinator, I am tasked with bringing the youth together, specifically from Norwood High School and middle school, and just teaching them and trying to empower them about education and just trying to raise awareness and education about substances.
Norwood News has interviewed several town department leaders since January of this year. This week we go to one of the most important departments in town, the General Manager's office. For more on how Tony Mazuka gets the job done, we go to Brian Boudreau at Town Hall.
Thanks, Kristen. I'm actually in the office of Tony Mazuka, General Manager of Town of Norwood. We're actually sitting at his conference table. He was good enough to have me in on short notice. And Tony, how are you doing?
Good so far. We've gotten through town meeting, and the summer weather is finally here. It was a little iffy earlier in this week, but today looks like a gorgeous day. So
it's absolutely beautiful out.
Happy that we're through town meeting and that the summer seems to finally be here. Knock on wood.
Absolutely. So the reason I wanted to come down is I've done these department updates, I think, since January, and I realized I hadn't gotten the general manager. I know you've been busy, and I figured, like you said, town meeting's over, and I figured it'd be a good opportunity. So what does a general manager, what are you responsible for?
So as a general manager, I'm responsible for the supervision of town government departments, town property, town facilities, personnel, budget management, labor issues, and handling a lot of the town's legal issues, as well as coordinating a lot of citizen responses, citizen requests for service, citizen complaints, and compliments, and also primarily being the staff support for the Board of Selectmen and carrying out the policy objectives that they have for the community.
So you're the department head of department heads.
It's a good way to look at it. I'm the first among equals, I guess is one way to say it, but I supervise the police chief and the fire chief and the light department director and public works and just about all the other town department heads.
Excellent. And what have you been working on lately? I know you've been busy.
Yeah, so my job, one of the things that's interesting about being a town manager is it changes dramatically sort of from day to day as to what's going on. Some of what I actually deal with when I'm back here in the office tends to be a little bit dry and a little bit boring. The state passed a pay equity law recently that is designed to ensure that there's gender pay equity in all public and private employers. So I've been doing a lot of work with the compliance with that and coming up with the town's program to comply with that. We have to, by July 1st, have some programmatic compliance done for that. So it's very dry, but it's very important. It's an important law. I've been dealing with that. We're also doing some new financial policies for the town. We had a meeting several weeks ago. Sort of got put on hold as we went to town meeting, but I'm concluding the drafting of our fiscal policies to update them and have them out and ready for the community. I've been providing some support to the Forbes Hill Task Force. There's some information that I'll have ready for them at their next meeting on the tax implications of the Forbes Hill project to the average taxpayer. Also, we've been looking at some town hall items or town staff items are coming up. We're doing some diversity training for town staff. That's something that I'm coordinating. We're doing town council interviews for the town's attorney services that the board will be conducting over the course of the next week. That's something I'm responsible for putting together and pulling those attorneys in. We've had the budget balancing committee meet recently. There's some staff support that I'm working with town accountant Tom McQuaid on for them to get them some numbers. We also had a townwide facility study committee meeting yesterday, so I'm working with my staff to pull some numbers together on that for them, as well to look at how we can maybe rearrange how we're doing our facilities management across the whole town, including all the school buildings and all the town facilities. And we manage, including schools, close to 20 very large, very complicated facilities, all of which need work. And if you were to break all that down into one budget, it's one of the largest expenditure areas. So we're putting some numbers together at that and looking at different models out there in other communities as to how that could work.
Again, thank you very much for taking the time to let me come down and get you on camera.
Absolutely, anytime.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Kristen, back to you.
Stay tuned after this break to find out what's happening in your local government.
My swings right back to Old Breeze. The routine play to Janelle Kelleher at first base for the second out for the Mustangs in this inning.
There we go.
And
Right
Garza's
up the
gonna put
middle.
contact on that one right up the middle. It's a great start for the Mustangs on the offense. With Bryn Garzinski on third base with one out. That first pitch, he's gonna
Whoa.
put contact on that one right into
Nice.
center field.
Talk about helping her own cause.
Helping her own cause, exactly. Old Breeze is going, and she's in there.
Welcome back to Norwood News. Monday afternoon, the Budget Balancing Committee met to discuss the town-wide expenditure for the first time since town meeting finished. Finance Committee Chair Alan Slater also chairs this committee and opened the floor for members to review the town's 5-year budget projection. Town accountant Tom McQuaid put the report together and reminded the committee that it is only a forecast and that the living document could change. Town Manager Tony Mizuko explains more about a living document and what the report shows.
If you looked at FY19, run the trend analysis out 5 years, this is where we're going to be. That agreeing on these numbers means we agree, should we generally project that salaries are going to go up 4%? Do we use 2%? Do we use 6%? Where do we think health insurance is going to go up? I think that's what we're looking on when we say agreeing numbers is, let's agree that this is the trend analysis for the next 5 years, and that'll inform any discussions we have about where we want those trends to go, what decisions we're going to have to make.
Tom McQuaid delivered the complete outlay and opened the floor to all. The proposal of combining certain budgets was a popular topic at town meeting and came into consideration to the committee. Tom McQuaid explained that while such combinations can seem like a way to save money, that is not always the case. School Superintendent David Thompson also expressed his doubts about the efficiency of department combinations.
I am concerned, like was mentioned over here, the promises of savings.
Right.
Maybe over time we get there. I'm very nervous about some of the conversations that I've become aware of in those savings, because right now we've got 9 buildings, 8 of which are very old, and we are barely keeping up with that. So to say we're going to combine, under one thing, I don't know how we would take on another 8 or 9 buildings in a building department with the present staffing levels.
Members unanimously agreed that multiple meetings will be necessary to balance the FY 2019 budget and anything beyond that. The committee is also investigating the need for possible subcommittees to ensure a thorough town-wide analysis is accomplished. On Tuesday night, the Zoning Board of Appeals met in room 12 of Town Hall with 2 items on their agenda. One was a withdrawal from a previous hearing of the ZBA. The owner of 20 Neponset Street wished to withdraw his application without prejudice and sent a letter to that respect.
Your Chairman Patrick Mulvihill, and we've got a couple of hearings tonight, one of which is going to be a withdrawal. It's case number 1807 from 2 weeks ago, 20 Neponset Street, where they were going to try and convert a two-family or a single-family to a two-family, and the applicant has decided through his counsel, David Hearn, to withdraw the application, and it reads as follows. Dear members of the Zoning Board of Appeals, on behalf of my client, William Hinton, I am writing to request the Zoning Board of Appeals grant permission for the withdrawal without prejudice of my client's application for the variance relief with respect to the property located at 20 Neponset Street in Norwood. Thank you for your consideration. Please let me know if you have any questions. Very truly yours, David Hearn, Jr., Esquire.
The Zoning Board also met with the owners of 720 Neponset Street to request an extension on their application to build 7 3-unit condominiums. The application was originally filed in 2005 with the board. 7 foundations were poured and 1 building housing 3 units has been completed. Some of the foundations have to be replaced due to decay over the years since they were originally poured. The board showed their dissatisfaction with the applicant. It has been 13 years since the application was originally brought before them.
And here we are. I mean, at some point, let me ask you this question. Would you not agree that at some point, a board has to review a project once again from the beginning that has been here for so long that we now don't have really any idea what's going on site?
So you're saying that you'd like for us to reapply through the zoning board? Is that what you're saying?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, we don't know anything about what's gone on for
Well, I can tell
years
you
on end.
I can tell you that nothing has changed from our application.
And somehow we haven't been able to get 7 buildings built between 2005 and now. I don't know, Mr. Chairman, it seems to me that that would be my suggestion. I think the board needs to review this whole thing and get a full picture of what's going on down there.
In the end, the board did grant a 3-month extension with a status report to be given in July as to where the applicants are in the process with the Conservation Commission.
I think if the request is put in, which Jim would do, we can go from there. We can't say when the Concom is going to respond.
Correct.
And that could be a longer period of time. But I think if the program gets started, and the first thing would be for Jim to notify Conservation Commission.
Yeah, but the
And we
whole
go from,
purpose
and
of
we
this
go from
motion
there. I'm
is-
not sure we can put a time limit on it.
I don't know.
But,
All right, well, let's go-
because
let's
it
go with-
hasn't
But
been one
the
yet, and
purpose
it's
of this
been
is to have a
15
short
years
leash
or
on
whatever
this
it's
so we
been.
know what's going on.
Okay.
I'll renew that motion for
Yeah.
a 3-month
Yeah,
extension
that's
with
fine.
a report by July 17
Yeah.
as to the status of the entire situation.
Okay.
Wednesday, the school committee met at Coakley Middle School as part of the Traveling School Committee. Before the meeting, members had the opportunity to take a tour of the school guided by current students. Middle school principal Dr. Frasick joined those same students at the start of the meeting to give an update on the school's various activities. Recreation Department Head Travis Farley and Program Director Katie Seastead gave an update on the Rec Department going into the summer, and Diane Ferreira, Balch School Principal, presented changes to the 2018-2019 elementary school handbooks. The Athletic Program Committee also gave a presentation where they proposed future projects like middle school sports and lights for the high school turf field. The committee then moved to vote once again to approve the updated food services policy. Maura Smith explained her reasons for sustaining her opposing vote.
Maura? I just sort of want to be clear for the record because I do intend to once again vote against this policy tonight, which is rather upsetting to me as I was approached about it and have been, very, very interested in it. I just want to be clear, I'm very much in favor of the taking away the designated cheese sandwich option and making sure that if students are plated food, it is not being thrown away, that it is being given to them. That the reason I will be voting against it is I just, in good conscience myself, cannot vote for anything on the back, balances owed. It still does say, prohibit participation of the student from any fee-based program until payment obligations are met, which would be after-school sports or fine arts. Prohibit participation of the student from senior activities or graduation exercises or receipt of diploma until payment obligations are met. I just can't support anything where the student is penalized for a financial issue with the family.
The motion was approved 3-1. The meeting wrapped up with discussions on both the FY18 and FY19 budgets, as well as an update from the Budget Subcommittee. Members went into executive session to discuss the food services contract negotiation. The committee will meet again on June 20th. The Townwide Facilities Committee regrouped in Town Hall Thursday afternoon. The committee was inactive for about 18 months, but decided to start meeting again after town meeting discussion. Members from each of the town's major buildings or departments were represented in the meeting. Contract Administrator Kathy Carney provided informative updates for projects around town. Some examples included HVAC repairs in Town Hall, as well as a new server room, a new shower room at the Civic Center, and an elevator replacement at Town Hall. Building and Grounds Director Paul Riccardi detailed substantial updates to many of the town's buildings. He explained that LED lighting installments and enhanced air conditioning and heating plans are already reducing the town's energy cost. Although an outlay is not decided yet, they all agreed early on that the department leaders should not have the added responsibility of maintenance management for their respective buildings.
All department heads should have to do is put in a ticket and then know that it's going to get resolved, or somebody's going to come to them and say, sorry, you put in a ticket for a whole new roof, and the ticketing system doesn't accommodate just installing a new roof, but we'll take care of that. And we're not talking about major renovations and major building projects here, but if there's a problem at the library or the school building or town hall or wherever, there's only a certain limit to which that department head should be involved.
The committee is scheduled to meet next month to discuss specific details of each department and ongoing projects. Each member agreed to assemble respective building and staff details, including maintenance, security, and procurement requests so that all things can be considered objectively. On Thursday night, the Permanent Building Construction Committee met and discussed many topics during the 2-hour and 20-minute meeting. The majority of the meeting was centered around town hall renovations. There was a presentation given to the board about the electrical updates, more specifically the fire alarms, lighting, and lighting controls. At the end of the meeting, Bob Silk was voted as the 2019 chairman of the PBCC. Their next meeting will be June 14th. To watch the full government meeting, tune into the NCM government channel or watch them on demand at norwoodcommunitymedia.org. Stay tuned after this break to find out what's happening around our schools.
Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 2018.
Welcome back to Norwood News. Now we toss it over to school reporter Tim Rose to find out what else is happening at our schools.
Hi guys, let's take a look at events and activities happening around our Norwood school community. At the Balch School, the 3rd grade started an end-of-the-year A to Z countdown to summer. June 1st was J Day, and the students had a jump rope day to celebrate. The kids all jumped to see who could jump the longest. The 5th grade classes went on a tour of the State House on Tuesday, June 5th, and met with Representative John Rogers and got to sit in the seats in the House of Representatives. The Coakley Middle School has been busy with activities. The Student Council traveled to the Ted Kennedy Center to learn all about government in action, and the PTO sponsored a successful car wash, and special thanks to the PTO, Roach Brothers, and Honeydew Donuts for their donations to the annual Citizen of the Month breakfast. At the Cleveland, the 3rd grade visited the Norwood Town Hall and the police department. They had a tour of the town hall led by Lee Leach. The children learned about local government and the history of the building. They visited Memorial Hall, the Selectmen's Room, and climbed up to the top of the Carillon Tower. They even had the opportunity to ring the Tilton bells in the tower. They visited the police station and had a tour led by Officer Baguma. The children went into the dispatch area and heard a 911 call come into the station. They also visited the booking room, the jail cells, the shooting range, the roll call room, and Chief Brooks's office. Officer Baguma also gave a motorcycle demonstration. A great time was had by all. Mrs. Huey and Miss Nally's 2nd grade classes visited Sunrise Assisted Living Center on June 6th. Students wrote poems in school and, after reading them, spoke with residents one-on-one and shared information about themselves. The residents loved listening to the poems and chatting. It was a wonderful experience for all. Students learned that a smile and a kind word can bring so much happiness to one person. And the kindergarten students visited the Cleveland School for its annual Step-Up Day. The new 1st graders toured the building, met the 1st grade teachers, and learned about 1st grade life. The Willett Kindergarten took their annual field trip to Franklin Park Zoo. It was a beautiful day and fun was had by all. The children were so excited to see all the animals that they had been learning about. You could hear the children commenting on oviparous animals and animals using camouflage. It was a great ending to the life cycle units the children have been learning about. The staff and children would like to thank Mrs. Doherty for her time and dedication in arranging this field trip for the past 11 years. At the Oldham School on Tuesday morning, June 5th, Sylvia Caparata, along with invited friends, arrived to the Oldham School on a Norwood fire truck. She had won the raffle at the Oldham PTO Fair held back on April 7th for this prize donated from the Norwood Fire Department. Firefighter Paul Ronco, who teaches about fire safety at the school, arranged for the prize award and the date and time of the fire truck ride. At the Little Mustangs Preschool Academy, Miss Lauren's class started their June theme days with a little Disney magic. Many children dressed up in some of their favorite Disney gear, and the children all made Mickey and Minnie Mouse ears. The class had fun playing with the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and all the Disney characters. Students also built Elsa's ice castle using Legos at the light table and danced to some of their favorite Disney hits. Miss Michelle, our speech therapist, practiced a vocabulary and following directions game, practicing positional words with the royal carriage and all her favorite Disney figurines. It was a magical day in Miss Lauren's. It was a little chilly in Mrs. Tolman's class as they had a Frozen day. Many of the children came in with their favorite Frozen character outfits on. They enjoyed playing with some frozen Play-Doh and used hammers to chip away at ice blocks to excavate mini dinosaurs. They finished their day with an indoor snowball fight. Several classes also created indoor campsites. A dramatic play area was set up in each of the classrooms, complete with tents, flashlights, campfire logs, marshmallows on sticks, and a s'more making station. The children fished for letters, had an indoor picnic, and finished the day by making real s'mores. At the Prescott, the 4th grade students have been hard at work researching their Western expansion topics. Students individually researched the topic and then collaborated with their group to create a presentation. Families were invited to view the presentations of Google Slides, skits, posters, and songs. Everyone enjoyed a barbecue luncheon before the presentations. Pamela Gardner, WBZ meteorologist, visited the Prescott 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders with a presentation on the WBZ weather team and how they forecast the weather for New England. She brought the Storm Team weather van with her. The newly appointed principal of the Prescott School, Brian Riley, visited the school this week. Mrs. Killian welcomed him to the school and took him to meet the students in every classroom. Good luck, Mr. Riley. Well, that's it for Norwood School News. As always, thanks so much for your continued support of our school community. Now let's go to Mike Maloof with the latest sports news.
Thanks, Tim. The Norwood High School Spring Athletic Awards were held Tuesday night, and the night began by recognizing seniors who have participated in a sport every season during their high school years. Each athlete was presented with a commemorative Mustang watch to recognize their achievement. The night consists of highlight videos of each sport, speeches by the head coaches, and a presentation of individual awards. In addition, some coaches also use this night to announce their captains for next year. Congratulations and good luck to the seniors, and thank you to the boosters for sponsoring this event. Thursday, the NHS softball team played in the MIAA Division II preliminary round game against Sandwich. Junior Amanda Obrys threw a one-hitter and was supported by a balanced offensive attack. The Mustangs plated 2 runs in the first inning and never looked back. The game ended 9-0 in favor of Norwood, who advances to take on Plymouth South in the Division II first round. Good luck, girls, and that's all for sports. Now back to the desk.
Welcome back. One of the great services that the town offers its residents is the free compost program at the Norwood landfill. Every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 3:30 p.m., citizens who have acquired their landfill sticker from the DPW are able to use the compost. For more on how the compost is made, we toss it to DPW Superintendent Mark Ryan.
Hello everyone, Mark Ryan here from the Public Works Department. We're up at the Winter Street landfill and we're talking composting. As everyone knows, the town provides a service of picking up leaf bags that might contain leaves and grass during the year. And the compost facility is also open every Saturday from 10 to 3:30 if residents want to drop them off. And as we all know, the leaves and grass are bagged in the biodegradable paper bags, and they're brought up here to the landfill. And you're probably wondering, well, what happens to that? So what happens is we put them in a pile, and during the year, that pile is actually cooking inside. The cooking temperature will break down everything, and eventually we'll get a beautiful compost. What also has to happen during the year while those leaves and grass is composting, you got to turn it every once in a while so we can get equal breakdown in the materials. So right now what you see behind me are leaves and grass that were collected back in 2017 and 16. And each year we take that pile of material. Once we know it's all composted down, which is usually in the spring, and we bring in a screener. And that screener, we take the material, put it in, and it screens it down to a smaller material, which is ultimately the product that you, the residents, get for free when you come up here to the landfill. We do about 2,500 to 3,000 cubic yards a year, and the residents don't use all that. The residents pick up maybe 750 to 1,000 yards. So the remaining, say, 2,000 yards, we sold off to a company that specializes in the product. So we get a certain amount of money per cubic yard. This year we're at $7.50 a cubic yard. So it's a little bit of income we get back for the town, which is a good thing. So right now we're getting near the end of the operation. We've been doing this, it takes about a week. In the end we'll have, like I said, 2,500 to 3,000 cubic yards, and we'll put it out for the residents and sell. The material is beautiful. We have it tested. It always meets the criteria for compost and even better. It's black gold for your lawn, for your garden beds, for your plants. So take advantage of it and come up here on Saturdays 10 to 3:30. You will need a sticker to enter the landfill. You need to be a resident. Go down to DPW and pick up a sticker for free. Just bring your registration. Now, one of the things, because of this screening operation, you might think, you know, if it's just leaves and grass, why need to screen it? Well, unfortunately, people throw more than just leaves and grass in the bag. And a lot of times we have, if you look at the pile that's composting from this year and a little bit of last year, you have rocks, you have cans, you have bottles, you have sticks, you have bags. So, you know, ultimately that ends up to be screened out, and then we have to pay to get rid of it. What we do ask residents is don't throw items like that in those bags. The leaves and grass are the only things that should be in there. The rocks don't belong in there. The bottles and cans, you got to recycle. Plastic bags, throw in the trash. Let's all make an effort to make this even better product than we have now. So looking forward to seeing you up here at the landfill and get some compost.
Thank you to the DPW for all your work around town. A reminder that the landfill is open every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. The Norwood High School students were not the only ones graduating in Norwood this week. On Monday, the Norwood English as a Second Language Learning Center held their class graduation. Volunteer teachers taught members of the community how to improve their language skills. Bishop Gene Luma recognized that there was a need for this type of class in Norwood when he arrived here in 2007.
So I went to the library. We have a 101. So I said, like, why we don't have like a class that more people can come? As I'm coming from Haiti, the English as a second language, it's very, very important for us because we speak English. You learn English at school, but we don't speak English. We learn Spanish, but you don't speak Spanish. You learn French, and we speak French and Creole. So therefore, I think we might have some English as a second language learning center in Norwood.
After many years of organizing, Bishop Luma was able to open up the Norwood English as a Second Language Learning Center on Vanderbilt Ave. He explains the importance a center like this will have on the community of Norwood.
Norwood needs good coworker. Norwood needs a good citizen. If you don't know, if you don't understand anything about English, you won't be able to be a good citizen. So that's why we have the English as a second language learning center, and at the same time we have English as a second language ministry. So sometimes we teach English for the church, and then we teach English for the community. In this class, there are so many students. They are not here today. They're coming from Brazil. Some of them coming from Haiti, with a background that they went to school there, but they need to start to know how to learn English. So it's very, very important for me and for Pastor Mitchell, for Sister Louis, for all teachers. So who did delegate their life to be with us to do that job.
Bishop Luma wanted to send a special message to his recently graduated class.
So I want to say congratulations to them, because even they think at the beginning I cannot do it, now they feel they can go forward. So this session has been closed, and then we'll open in September. So I can say, if you want to come, our phone number is 508-930-4656. And then the address, the physical address is 190 Vanderbilt Ave. We will have like one class every Monday. And if we have more students, we might be another class on Saturdays.
That's the latest in Norwood News. To stay up to date with Norwood Community Media, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great weekend.